This video, video 1, will be about how to check internet history, how to see what apps are open, how to close apps to save battery power, and how to delete an app. This app that I'm using right here is called Notability. I'm going to close that by pressing on the home button, which is located on the right hand side of this iPad, but it could be on the left on yours. It's a little button with the white square around it, and you press it. And then that will come back to a screen. Now I know that this isn't my home screen. If I press it again, it's going to come on the standard home screen. If nothing has been reorganized on the iPad that you're using, you'll see these apps. These are standard basic apps on every single iPad. If the kids have reorganized them, you might just see one app on this home screen, or you could see multiple folders with tiny little icons inside of it. You just simply tap the folder and the apps will appear like this, and you tap the app, and that's how you open an app. But in this video we're going to look at internet history, and to do that we're going to use Safari, which is the default browser for an iPad, and it's right down here in the bottom. It could be any place on the iPad, like I said. It could be on the second page, third page, depending on how it's set up. But you're looking for the icon Safari. If you cannot find it, you swipe to the right, you get this little search bar, and if I type SAF, I'm going to see Safari come up. I'm going to tap it, and there it is. Now, this is an open site that I had open, so if the student has a site open or multiple sites open, as you can see in this video, there's several tabs up here with the names. That usually doesn't look like that, but those are all open sites. So if you tap one of those, it's going to go to that site that's currently open. So that's kind of your current history right now, what you can look at. There's a couple here called Untitled. Those are just blank pages. And if you wish to close them, there's an X right here. You just X, X, X. And you notice that my keyboard popped up because I accidentally tapped in that search button there. To close that keyboard, there's a little icon on the bottom right hand side with an arrow down. Tap that arrow and it gets rid of the keyboard. So that's the current pages that are open. To check the internet history on this iPad, there's a little book up here on the top bar right next to the little arrow. You tap that book and you're going to see the history just for Wednesday, March 6th. Now I know that this is just March 6th because it says the date. Over here you're going to see history, and you're going to see clear history here. So if you tap history, you'll see other days. So earlier today, Wednesday, March 6th, which is where we were, Tuesday, March 5, and there's probably lots of dates down here. If it has never been cleared, you're going to see lots of dates. So you just keep scrolling down, you're going to see lots of dates. And you'll notice right there, there's a clear history, which the kids can see, obviously, and they can do it. So if you don't see anything, they've cleared their history. There's a little icon over here with a book on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. There, book on the bottom. If you tap that, so say you don't see the history when you click on the little books here. This is a place where they can bookmark. So if you don't see that, tap on that little circle with the clock, and then you're going to see the history right there. Another place to see the history, I'm going to tap on the home button. It's going to take me back to the home screen. There's a little icon with the settings right here with the gear. That happens to have a little 1 on it. That means that there's something going on in there. And I can see that I have a software update, which I'm not going to touch right now because we're working on history. But in the settings icon, you're going to see a lot of things in here. And this is where you basically can set a lot of features on the iPad. But we're going to go scroll down to Safari, which is the browser that they use. Tap that. And you'll notice all the things in Safari you can set. They can also clear their history here, clear history, clear cookies and data, which they really don't do a whole lot, so I would be very surprised if that was all cleared. If you scroll down, you don't really see that Advanced tab. Did you scroll down here? You go into advanced website data. There's another place that their histories are. Now the difference between checking it here in the settings, I'm going to tap the home button, or checking it in Safari is if you tap on a site there, it's going to take you there. If you go back and look at the history and settings, you can't tap those. Those are not links. That just lists all the sites. But you can't tap them and visit them. So that's the difference there. And at the bottom of that, if you really want to remove all that, you can remove all web history. Okay, let's move on to how to find what apps are open. You double tap the home button with the little white square again. I should say double press it, because you do want to press it, you don't want to tap it. And down here you're going to notice some icons. You also notice the screen is gray up here. These are all the apps that I have open right now. And even though I'm not using them, they're sitting down here in the background and they are eating up battery. So in order to close those apps, you press on them very gently and hold it. And you'll notice that they start to wiggle, and they have these little red circles with the minus signs on them. And to close those so that you don't use battery, or save your battery I should say, you just tap them. Those little red circles with the lines through them. I'm going to leave Notability up because I want that. And so say there's an app down there you want to see. You don't really want to close it, but what's that app? You're suspicious. You want to check it out. You tap your home button again, the little circle goes around, and you tap it. And there's the Notability app. It opens exactly where you left off in the app. So I'm going to tap this home button again. I'm going to show you how to delete an app. Now, I have to tell you that all the standard apps here, I'm going to press same procedure as closing apps. But you'll notice that there's no circles with X's on that home page. You cannot delete those apps. Those are standard apps that Apple has on the iPad, and you cannot delete them. You cannot get rid of them. But you can delete these apps. There's a couple there that you also can't delete, but say, okay, I'm going to get rid of the calculator one. You just simply tap that little X and it says, do you want to delete the calculator? And if you select delete, it's gone. I'm going to cancel that because I really don't want to delete that calculator. And I'm going to tap my home button so they stop wiggling again. So, the same process for deleting apps on the screen as it is for deleting apps double tap on the bottom, except for these you're just closing, you're not deleting them. And these, if you hold them, that little black X, that does delete them. So make sure that you know the difference. You don't want to delete an app that you really want. And I hope this has been helpful.